is what happened when a nearly silent WNBA trade deadline collided with WNBA Rivals Week 2026, the league's second annual rivalry showcase built around old grudges and brand new jerseys. 20 games over 7 days, 2 trades that reshaped 2 of the marquee matchups, and that's exactly what we're breaking down. WNBA Rivals Week, presented by Alley, runs from Saturday, August 8th through Friday, August 14th, 2026, landing during the league's 30th season. Over those 7 days, there are 20 games total, 10 of them in national television windows across ABC, CBS, ESPN, NBA TV, ION, and Prime Video, with the other 10 available on League Pass. Right after the week wraps, the league goes on break for the FIBA Women's World Cup, running August 31st through September 17th. This isn't just a themed week tucked into the middle of the schedule. It's one of the last major stretches before the entire season pauses. To understand why this particular Rivals Week matters more than most, you have to go back 4 days before it even started. Sunday, August 2nd, at 3 p.m. Eastern, the WNBA's trade deadline hit, and by most accounts, it landed quietly. 11 of the league's 15 teams sat on their hands entirely, making 0 moves before the clock ran out. CBS Sports and Front Office Sports both pointed to the league's new collective bargaining agreement and the record-setting contract signed under it as the reason so many teams stayed put. Only 2 real trades cleared before the deadline closed. But here's the thing. Both of them are about to walk straight into Rivals Week matchups. Friday, July 31st, 1 day ahead of the deadline, the Connecticut Sun sent forward Anissa Morrow to the Toronto Tempo in exchange for the rights to forward Maria Kliundakova and a 2028 second-round pick. Morrow, the 7th overall pick in the 2025 draft, had put together a strong season through 20 games in Connecticut, averaging 11.6 points, 8.9 rebounds, and 1.7 assists, with 9 double-doubles that tied her for 8th most in the entire league. Her shooting climbed across the board too, field goal percentage rising from 37.5% as a rookie to 42.1%, three-point shooting jumping from 24% up to 28.4%. Toronto entered that trade averaging just 31.1 rebounds a game, 3rd fewest anywhere in the league, and that's what made this move so straightforward. A team going out and fixing one specific visible problem. The trade that actually made headlines came late on Saturday, August 1st, when the Los Angeles Sparks sent Kelsey Plum to the Phoenix Mercury for guard Monique Okoa-Makani, a 2027 first-round pick, and a 2028 second-round pick. Plum had been playing on a 1-year deal worth $999,999, a team-friendly number under the league's core designation, even though she qualified for a supermax worth $1.4 million, and she was putting up a career-best 23.9 points a game across her first 12 games of the season. None of that mattered on the court by trade day, though, because she hadn't played since June 21st, sidelined with an ankle and lower leg injury. Phoenix, at the time of the deal, sat 11-19 in 11th place, half a game behind Los Angeles, and 6 games back of New York's 17-13 record, which held the 8th and final playoff spot. A young guard and a future lottery range pick is a steep price for what amounts to a 14-game rental, especially since Plum has said she still plans to test free agency once the season wraps. And if Phoenix misses the playoffs this year, they become the first team in league history to do it the year after reaching the finals, since Phoenix itself pulled off that exact collapse back in 2008. Which means heading into Rivals Week, 2 players are about to pull on brand new jerseys for nationally televised rivalry games, both for the very first time. Here's where the league stood as of August 5th, 3 days before the week began. Minnesota held the best record in the WNBA at 25-6, while Las Vegas, the reigning 2025 champions, sat at 20-9, tied with Golden State for the second-best mark in the Western Conference, and Golden State also carried the league's best defensive rating. Phoenix's new acquisition, meanwhile, wasn't walking into a contender. The Mercury were scrapping from 11th place just to keep their playoff hopes alive. Rivals Week opens with two headline games. At 3 p.m. Eastern on CBS, the Indiana Fever faced the Chicago Sky, a matchup that used to be defined entirely by Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's rivalry, one that started in college and carried straight into the pros. Reese left Chicago this offseason for Atlanta, though, which means this game is really a new chapter between two Midwest teams separated by less than 200 miles, minus the exact rivalry that used to define it. These two sides already met once this season, and Indiana won that one 114-106 in overtime, with Aaliyah Boston putting up 34 points and 12 rebounds, while Clark added 32 points and 10 assists of her own. Later that night, at 8:30 on NBA TV, Seattle takes on Portland, Storm versus Fire, a regional rivalry that actually runs deeper than most fans realize. Both franchises entered the league as expansion teams back in 2000, but Portland's original run ended in 2002, leaving Seattle as the Pacific Northwest's only team for the next 24 years. This season, Portland returned as one of two new expansion franchises in the league, alongside Toronto, and came out swinging. They've won both meetings against Seattle so far, each by exactly 5 points, 94-89 in Portland on June 17th, and 77-72 in Seattle on July 4th. 24 years off the map, and Portland already leads the all-time series 7-4. Sunday is where the week's biggest game lives. At 12:30 p.m. on ABC, Las Vegas meets New York, Aces versus Liberty, and these two have been colliding all season long. Their regular season series sits tied 1-1, New York taking the first meeting, 87-76, back on June 23rd, and Las Vegas answering with a 104-99 win on July 30th, which makes Sunday their fourth meeting in under 7 weeks. That count includes the Commissioner's Cup Final on June 30th, where New York became the first team in league history to win multiple Commissioner's Cup titles, clawing back from a 71-69 deficit early in the fourth quarter with a 15-2 run to seal it. And they did it against a Las Vegas squad playing without reigning MVP A'ja Wilson. That evening, at 7 p.m. on ESPN, Golden State hosts Los Angeles, Valkyries versus Sparks, the only in-state rivalry anywhere in the WNBA, and Golden State has owned it from the start. The Valkyries sit 4-1 all-time against the Sparks, with that single loss coming in Golden State's very first game as a franchise back on May 16, 2025. 4 straight wins have followed since, including a 78-58 win this season on June 15th, led by All-Star Gabby Williams' 16 points, and a win Sunday clinches the season series outright for Golden State. Rivals Week wraps on Friday with 2 more games on ION. Dallas plays Indiana at 7:30, the Fever's second appearance of the week, and then at 10 p.m., Portland and Seattle meet again, closing out the season series they opened on the very first night of the week. Whichever way that one lands, it settles the all-time series score between the two Pacific Northwest franchises for the year. That's the shape of WNBA Rivals, Week 2026, 20 games, 7 days, and a trade deadline that quietly reshaped 2 of the marquee matchups before a single ball got tipped. Kelsey Plum debuts for a Phoenix team fighting from 11th place with everything on the line, while Anissa Morrow debuts for a Toronto team that went out and solved one specific problem: its rebounding. Around them, the league's oldest and newest rivalries, Fever and Sky, Storm and Fire, Aces and Liberty, Valkyries and Sparks, all play out inside the same 7-day window, right before the entire league breaks for the World Cup. 2 trades, 20 games, and 1 week where almost everything in the WNBA season either gets decided or gets more complicated. That's WNBA Rivals Week 2026.